Let's see the got the trying on spores, leaving scars by remorse. I got bark, won't starve. My ally trademark. I'm a master of my fate. I'm a master of my fate. I'm a master of my fate.
This week on TNA Xplosion, Gia Miller goes around the ring with the Personal Concierge of the Elegance brand. The Don West, you gotta be kidding me, top 5 trending topics of the week. In case you missed it, and in our main event, Jake Something goes one-on-one with Jesse Funaki. But first, let's go back in time with From the Vault, presented by TNA Plus.
This is our main event for the World Championship, an Iron Man match between champion Eddie Edwards and the champion Lashley. No falls were earned during the break. It is still 0-0 between Lashley and Eddie Edwards. It was really back and forth during the break as well.
Yeah, it's gone either way thus far, or hadn't gone either way thus far. But right now we see Eddie trying to gain momentum.
Lashley can quell that momentum so quickly. That's what makes the unstoppable juggernaut of force so dangerous. And Lashley got cut there by Eddie Edwards.
Oh! Spear delivered by Lashley.
Lashley now into the cover. Lashley hooks the outside leg, and Lashley has our first fall.
Lashley scores the pinfall. It's 1-0.
So now if you're Eddie Edwards, championship advantage gone.
Yeah.
You're in jeopardy.
Absolutely. And this is where that pacing comes in at, because now Eddie has to be a little more assertive. He has to be a little more energetic and show a sense of urgency.
And Lashley can play defense.
Absolutely.
Lashley can go into prevent mode, stay away from the champion, stick and move.
Best place to be.
This match has completely changed, and that's what happens in an Iron Man match. You saw a little bit of a rest for both champion and challenger in between the fall there. But with Lashley up 1-0, and as dominant as this man is, I don't want to say it's the death knell for Eddie Edwards. There's still plenty of time left, but your back's certainly against the wall.
Well, we've all come to know Mr. AIP. We know not to count out the champion time and time again. He has done the unthinkable.
Elapsed time, 10 minutes, 20 minutes remain in the match.
1/3 of this match is over with as Lashley goes for the cover and a kick out there by Eddie Edwards. The last thing that Eddie can have happen here is to go down 2-0 to Lashley.
Eddie goes down 2-0 to Lashley, and this thing is almost pretty much a done deal.
Change the nameplates on the championship. Yeah. Lashley now firmly in control. Eddie Edwards trying to get back to his feet, trying to fuel off of Wolves Nation. Under 20 minutes to go now, and a back elbow by Lashley.
Lashley, very confident right now, knows it. And you know what? He can be. He's up 1 pinfall.
See if Eddie Edwards can get back into this. Eddie Edwards can't go into panic mode. He's got to maintain, and he knew what he was getting into. 30-minute Iron Man match.
Yeah.
The first fall very important, but it doesn't necessarily take the championship away from Eddie Edwards.
Yeah, you know, Eddie Edwards knows that, you know, but again, in the back of your mind, when you're in that ring and you're in an Iron Man match and you go down, it kind of does something to you. It makes you wonder if you can get up. Can you get the advantage?
Lashley looking to become a 4-time world champion here tonight at Genesis. And Lashley showing the confidence that we've seen from him throughout, I would say the past year or so. And now Eddie Edwards, Blue Thunder Bomb. Eddie Edwards is trying to get back into this matchup.
Oh, that rocked Lashley a little bit. You can see Lashley not knowing exactly what's going on, trying to regain his composure here.
We've seen some great championship matchups so far here tonight. DJZ retained his X Division championship. Rosemary able to hang on to the Knockouts championship. Can Eddie Edwards retain the world title?
Lung blow from the second turnbuckle.
He's got Lashley stacked up and a kick out leg. Eddie Edwards floats over. Single leg Boston Crab.
Lashley's almost close enough to the ropes, but this could do it.
Can Eddie Edwards even things up in one fall apiece? Will Lashley tap out, clawing and scratching his way, trying to get to the bottom rope?
Lashley's
To break this
close.
hold.
Well, that right there was all about positioning. And, you know, again, Eddie floated over into that single leg Boston Crab, but the positioning, I think if he could have pulled him out to the middle of the ring, then maybe this could
But in this type of match, in an Iron Man match, how much damage was done? Eddie will get another chance.
Oh, my! Oh, jeez! How much damage was done? What, Daddy, look at that!
An overhead belly-to-belly suplex over the top rope.
Referee telling Lashley to keep it inside.
Somebody may need to come out here and check on Eddie Edwards. Somebody may need to check on the champion. He's clutching at his knee. He landed awkwardly. How else are you going to land when you get thrown over the top rope like that?
Yeah, I was going to say, man, I mean, Lashley's so dominant. I mean, just a destructive force.
You can't earn a fall on the outside of the ring. The further they get from the ring, the more time drips away and goes away in this Iron Man match. Lashley, he's got a perfect game plan right now.
I was going to say, you don't think Lashley's aware of that? Of course he is.
He'll take Eddie Edwards all the way to I-Drive here in Orlando. Get him away from the six-sided ring. And look at this.
No!
A power bomb. Eddie Edwards has an opportunity here to retain his world championship.
Well, we all know that he's one Boston Knee Party away from a 3 count. It's Eddie Edwards. There's an insecurity.
If you're Lashley, should he try to stay away from Eddie Edwards?
Well, he's been doing that quite well for some time here.
Oh, I just don't think it's the instinct of Lashley to completely stay away. He likes to get in there, and he likes to get in there and fight with his opposition. He likes to get in there and bang around, but he may watch Eddie Edwards on the outside here.
Well,
A lot going through the mind of Lashley.
Again, Lashley, you know, he just got rocked a couple of minutes ago, and much like in boxing, you get rocked, you forget your thoughts, and you forget your game plan.
He's a bull, Lashley, isn't he? He only likes to go forward. 7 minutes to go, under 7 minutes now. Smile and confidence on the... What is he going to do out here now? What is it? Holy... Oh, and Eddie Edwards lands on his feet.
Good for
Edwards
Eddie.
lands on his feet. Boston Knee Party.
He connects on the wrap.
Eddie Edwards with the Boston Knee Party. There's no reason. One more look at this Boston Knee Party. From Eddie Edwards to Lashley. Referee Brian Hebner is counting. It doesn't matter if both men get count out, but if one man can beat the count back in, like Eddie just did, referee at 8 now, Eddie can get a fallback. There's 9, and Lashley just gets back in.
Could have been 2-2, but Lashley found his way to the apron, staggered there, and got back in the ring.
6 minutes to go, it's still 2-1. Lashley still leads 2-1. Eddie Edwards delivered the Boston Knee Party. I think his best opportunity to even this up just went away when they were on the outside of the ring.
Yeah, but anything's possible. Lashley's going back to the well, looking for that delayed
Eddie
suplex.
Edwards lands on his feet, slips out the back. Lashley off the ropes. He got him again!
Knee Party!
He got him again! Eddie Edwards has tied this thing up! It's 2-2!
Eddie Edwards with the pinfall. It is now tied 2-2.
It's anybody's ball game now. It's 2-2. We're all evened up for the World Championship in this 30-minute Iron Man match.
And look at both men. Referees give them a 10 count for their break, but look at both men. The fatigue is now starting to set in.
Elapsed time 25 minutes. 5 minutes remain.
5 minutes to go, and Lashley spills to the outside.
And there's the champion. He's going for another shot at champion.
Big dive there by Eddie Edwards as he takes out Lashley with 4 minutes and 45 seconds left.
Now, the favor of this matchup turns to the champion, Eddie Edwards. We got to talk about how big Lashley is, how much energy he has to use at this point. point, and the cardiovascular condition of the champion is very well documented.
These two amazing athletes have been going at it for over 25 minutes now. As Eddie Edwards and Lashley in a precarious situation. Eddie able to throw the challenger down. You can see the wear and tear that these two have gone through thus far. Eddie lands on his feet, and Lashley trying to counter, trying to dig deep, trying to fight through. And here comes Lashley!
A spear!
But Lashley rolled the opposite way. Now comes into the cover, hooks the outside leg, and Lashley was that close to going up 3-2. Lashley just rolled the opposite way.
His momentum, I think, took him away from the body, but he went back to it, but no 3 count.
The fans here in the Impact Zone getting behind the world champion with 3 minutes and 35 seconds to go.
And another knee party, Boston knee party!
He got him again, and Eddie Edwards is up for no, Lashley kicked out.
Woo! The action is unreal. These two men are letting it hang out here.
Lashley kicked out at 2. The score is tied. Listen to this place. Eddie Edwards up on the second rope, looking for a top rope Hurricane Rana. Lashley looking for a power bomb. And now Lashley quickly, head arm trap. Eddie Edwards may have to tap out here. Save yourself perhaps. And now Eddie Edwards taps out to Lashley.
Eddie Edwards has tapped out. Lashley now up 3-2.
With 2 minutes and 47 seconds to go, Eddie Edwards taps out to the head and arm trap. I think it was the smartest move for Eddie Edwards. Yes, it puts him down 1 fall, but had Lashley been able to hang on longer, who knows what would have happened.
Yeah, you got 267 plus pounds on top of you, pure muscle. He did the right thing.
Tap out, try to get a fall back here in 225. That's Eddie Edwards' game plan. Lashley, he can stick and move. That's what he has to do with 2 minutes and 17 seconds left.
And look, Lashley just pointed to the clock and hopped out of the ring. He knows that. Very smart of Lashley.
Lashley's going to take a lap around the ring. Lashley's out here.
Hey, man, you wanted this matchup. Get in there and be a man and win it. Win it the right way. Don't waste time.
There's no time left.
Past the 2-minute warning. There's a
He's shot caffeine.
into the announce table. Eddie's got to hurry, though. Eddie's down 3-2. He's got to hurry. 95 seconds remain. Eddie Edwards has got to even this thing up. Looking for the Boston knee party counter, and Lashley plants him.
Dominating spine buster by Lashley. Lashley wanted this matchup. He's up. Be a man, stay in there, and win it the right way.
He has won it the right way. He's up 3-2. He has won it the right way. I see what you're saying, but he doesn't. You got to be smart. There's 70 seconds left. Take nothing away from what Lashley has accomplished here tonight.
Look at this.
And now Lashley with a... No, he got caught! Eddie Edwards caught him! Eddie Edwards has the head trap! Eddie Edwards has Lashley trapped up!
The guillotine is locked in.
The hooks are in! Lashley's got to try to hang on! Lashley's fading! 40 seconds to go! And Lashley may have to tap out here to Eddie Edwards!
Pull Eddie, cinch it in!
Look at the hands are locked under the chin! 30 seconds! It's 3-2! And Lashley's fading!
Eddie needs him to tap if he wants to save his title!
Lashley wants to win the World's Championship! He's up 3-2!
He's fading!
He's fading quickly as Lashley, but he's trying to stay into this! That's one. If his hand drops 3 times, it'll be a fall. There's 2 with 7 to go, 6 to go, 5 to go. Lashley not giving up the hand. Lashley's hanging on. Lashley is going to be the world champion.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the match and new TNA World Heavyweight Champion, Lashley.
After 30 minutes, after a grueling and physical encounter, A match for the ages. That doesn't matter to the former champion Eddie Edwards, but it will matter to the new four-time world champion Lashley.
And now, here on TNA Xplosion, it's time for the Don West You've Gotta Be Kidding Me Top 5 Trending Topics of the Week in honor of the late great TNA Hall of Famer, Don West. At number 5, last night in the main event of Impact, we saw a vicious dog collar match between Indy Hartwell and Danny Luna, two knockouts who for months now have been trying to separate themselves from each other in pursuit of the Knockouts World Championship. In the end, Danny Luna was able to put down Indy Hartwell. Is doomsday coming for the Knockouts World Championship? You can watch back this match anytime on demand right now on TNA Plus. At number 4, tickets are on sale now for our upcoming events in January of 2026 in Dallas, Texas, and Albuquerque, New Mexico. Be a part of this new era of TNA wrestling with the premiere of TNA Thursday Night Impact on January 15th, live that night in Dallas, Texas. Genesis 2 nights later in Dallas, and then back-to-back nights of Impact in Albuquerque, New Mexico, January 22nd and the 23rd. Get your tickets now at TNAWrestling.com. At number 3, TNA Thursday Night Impact on AMC starts on January 15th. That night will be live in Dallas, Texas. For TNA Wrestling, it's a new home, a new time, and a new stage. Beginning January 15th, catch TNA Thursday Night Impact every Thursday from 9 to 11 p.m. Eastern on AMC. Head to TNAWrestling.com for more information. At number 2, it was announced last night on Impact that Mike Santana is invoking his contractual rematch clause for Genesis on Saturday, January 17th, live on pay-per-view and TNA Plus. Mike Santana will challenge Frankie Kazarian for the TNA World Championship in Dallas, Texas at Genesis. And at number 1, before Genesis, Mike Santana will lead Team TNA into a steel cage match next week, looking to send the NXT Outlaws out of TNA wrestling for good. Next week, it is a 5-on-5 steel cage match on Impact. Still to come, Jake Something goes one-on-one with Jesse Funaki in the main event of Xplosion. But coming up next, it's Around the Ring with Gia Miller, starring the Personal Concierge of the Elegance brand. Welcome back to TNA Xplosion, and now it's time for Around the Ring with Gia Miller.
What's up, everybody? This is a special edition crossover episode of Around the Ring. We are collaborating with The Reveal Report. I am your host, Gia Miller, joined by someone who I'm not even going to try to introduce because nobody does it like himself.
I am the often imitated, never duplicated, one and only, almighty Iceman, often imitated, never duplicated, the Personal Concierge.
The one and only Iceman. Thank you so much for sitting down with me today. And this one, we'll have a lot of fun on this show, but this one is a very serious episode. And I'm not joking because once upon a time, almost a year ago now, we already filmed an episode of Around the Ring together. It never saw the light of day. It never made it on Xplosion. It never made it to socials. It never saw the light of day. And that's because, much like what you discuss on your podcast, The Reveal Report, we were talking about some pretty serious, maybe dark stuff. And in my opinion, I think you were silenced.
I was silenced and the episode completely disappeared.
Yeah.
I was talking about the occult, the supernatural, the esoteric, the things that go bump in the night. And they didn't like the topic.
No.
Talking ghosts, demons, sounds of maybe friends and family that have passed on certain investigations that I went on. I mean, there's some deep stuff. What happened?
Deep stuff.
What happened?
We don't know. All of that footage, we cannot find it. We've asked multiple people about it. It has never seen the light of day. And so it is now branded as the lost episode of Around the Ring.
The lost tapes.
the lost tapes. It's like the Blair Witch. But we are redoing it, and this will not be lost to time. This is the real stuff because we know that there's a conspiracy now.
There is.
We know you've been silenced.
I have.
So we can't withhold that information.
No.
We got to talk about it all over again.
Let's go.
And I want to start with your background because there's so much about you that a lot of people don't know. You have lived many, many lives.
I have.
And one of those is your dealings with the paranormal, the
Yes.
supernatural. Tell me how you got into that. How did that all start?
I was studying acting in Los Angeles. I was living in West Hollywood, and I had to go to Santa Monica. And I was privileged enough to attend the Larry Moss studio. Prestigious studio, great acting school, helped Hilary Swank, Leonardo DiCaprio. I'm in there, and I love film and television.
Yeah.
And that's what I wanted to get into.
Yeah.
And while I was living, of course, I was living in a place with different roommates because, you know, you don't have a lot of money, you're younger, you know, you're trying to survive. So other roommates, and really strange things started happening where I was living.
Sure.
I mean, things visually, nightmares, it was crazy. And then one night something happened, and I'm not gonna get too deep into it, but it was shocking to the point where I got up in the middle of the night, I went to the lobby to see security, and I go, listen, I think, and I go,
Something's
listen,
happening.
I'm just telling you, this place is haunted. And he laughed. He goes, nah, come on, man. I go, listen, I am not sleeping in that room.
Yeah.
And they said, what? I said, there's no way. So I ended up sleeping, true story, in the lobby of this hotel / residence inn.
Yeah.
And the next morning, got up, showered, got dressed, left.
Yeah.
Came
You were
back in the
out there.
evening, I was out of there.
Yeah.
The general manager said, hey, George, come on in. And I said, oh, what's going on? And they said that we hear that you're a little nervous, you were complaining. You think our place is haunted? And I was like, yes, it is.
Yeah.
And they said, well, you know what? We're going to tell you something right now. You weren't the only person to talk about seeing things, hearing things. This place used to be an old folks' home. I said, what? A lot of people died here. And apparently there's things that are going on here. We took it over. We turned it into this / hotel, hostel, residence inn. And you're right.
Yeah.
So we're going to let you pick any room you want. If you feel it, if you feel comfortable. So I did so. And hence that got me on a mission, on my path to investigating the supernatural.
And so you started down this path and you studied beneath somebody that I think a lot of our viewers are going to be familiar with through movies. There's been a lot of dramatizations about a lot of the cases that she's worked on, and that is Lorraine Warren. So tell me about that.
Great experience. I first went to, I think it was Lexington, Kentucky. There's a woman there by the name of Patty Starr. You can find her online. And she does a special introductory, workshop to kind of introduce you to the supernatural.
Yeah, just the basics.
The basics,
Yeah.
right? And then I was like, this is great, but I want to know about the dark stuff, the deep stuff. What's going on with the dangerous stuff? She says, oh, I don't deal with that. I
Yeah.
mean, there's only one person really to deal with that, and that's the queen herself, Lorraine Warren.
Ugh.
So I went on a mission. And Gia, I tracked her down. Somehow I got her number. I called her. She answered, and we talked for hours.
Gosh.
She goes, you need to come to Connecticut. So I started going to Connecticut and doing these unbelievable lectures with her where she taught me about demonology,
Yep.
the dark arts, ritual magic, hauntings, and the darker sides and how to deal with that. And that sent me on a whole other path.
Yeah, and for those of you who don't know, Lorraine Warren is a very well-known, very prominent demonologist and clairvoyant, right?
Clairvoyant, correct.
Yes. So she has worked on so many of these very well-known cases.
Big movies. The Haunting in Connecticut, huge. She also did the Amityville Horror.
Yes, Amityville.
The Conjuring series.
So the
based
Annabelle.
on her cases.
Yeah, Annabelle, the Nun,
Yes,
all of that.
All that on cases. Here's something interesting. She was able to share with us actual footage, real footage of exorcisms, hauntings.
I just got chills.
Guys, the movie you've seen with the nun, where there's a character by the name of Maurice, is nothing based on the real story. The real story of Maurice was so terrifying and horrible, true story,
Oh, yeah.
they did not put it in the movie. This guy went through hell growing up.
Oh, I'm sure.
He was possessed. He could speak a different language. He had superhuman strength. There is video footage that I've put on my show of him transforming. His eyes looked like a lizard. I am telling you, it changed his skin. He started to bleed. 666 was carved into his chest.
I'm like shaking.
This really happened. And there's actual video footage of it. So I went on a deep, dark path to understand, is there something really out there? Do you believe in ghosts, paranormal hauntings? And even if you don't know, is there something you've ever seen or experienced that you never had an answer for? I wanted to know.
Yeah, yeah. And so me personally, I have lived in a house that had an entity. I don't know if it was, if you want to call it a spirit, definitely wasn't a demon.
Yeah.
It wasn't malicious, but it was, something was there. And so I had these own firsthand experiences. And I like to think I'm not susceptible, sensitive
Yes.
to energies. When I go into places, I can feel, I'm like an energy sponge. I can read people.
Yes.
Like I can see through a lot of that
Yes.
stuff. And
You
I
feel it.
You're very similar.
Yep.
You're very similar. We have good radars
Yes.
for people, which is why
Yes.
we have gravitated towards each other and become such good friends.
Yep.
And so something I didn't ask you the last time that
Yep.
I'd be really interested to hear your opinion on this. I don't know if I've ever asked you
Okay.
this actually, is so the concept of spirits, ghosts, obviously they're different from demons. We're excluding demons. That
Yes.
is something completely different.
Yes.
Do you think, like, what do you think spirits and ghosts are? Are they souls that are trapped? Are they doomed to repeat? Do they have unfinished business? What's your opinion?
Listen, that's an incredible question. And there's different theories to it. But I will say it could be so many different answers to that. I'm not going to lie. I can't give you a straight answer because, you know, I studied it. I spent 13 years studying the occult, which, by the way, isn't dark. The occult means hidden knowledge. So I'm not going to give you a complete answer for that. All I can tell you is that these spiritual beings carry energy. You see? But where did that just come from?
They're not going to silence you, George.
Are they?
No, we
But
won't
we're
let
getting
them.
countdown already.
Yeah, we
so
won't let
I'm going to tell you, I can't answer that right now. All I could say is it's still a study, and many people around the world, demonologists, paranormal investigators, people in the occult, still to this day, from day one, still try to communicate with the other side, to understand it, to
why.
figure it out, and
Yeah.
to see what's out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if you want any more answers, I'm going to direct you to Iceman, your podcast.
The Reveal Report. If you are fascinated with the supernatural, the esoteric, the occult, I do shows on demonology. I do shows on conspiracies, very strange things out there.
Yeah.
Hauntings and other beings. So if you're interested in that, check us out at The Reveal Report on YouTube and on Instagram. And hopefully, maybe we'll answer a few questions. If not, at least you'll be entertained.
And you go live every Monday, correct?
Every Monday, 8 p.m. on YouTube, Eastern Time. Special guests, former occultists, former witches. I even had a woman recently who was one of the last to attend the mystery schools. And if you believe in the Illuminati and what the mystery schools and what they teach you, you'll want to check out that episode. The Reveal Report, YouTube, live Mondays, 8 p.m. Eastern.
All right, we started talking about the Illuminati. We got to shut it down before we get shut down. Iceman, thank you so much for sitting down with me. Everybody, this has been Around the Ring and The Reveal Report.
Still to come, the powerhouse Jake Something collides with the second-generation star Jesse Funaki in singles action in our main event. But coming up next, did you miss anything from Impact? No problem, we'll get you all caught up. It's In Case You Missed It, next on Xplosion. Welcome back to TNA Xplosion, and now it's time for In Case You Missed It.
Luna in complete control of Indy Hartwell in this dog collar match right now. Danny Luna trying to put away
Cover
Indy
here.
Hartwell able to kick out. This has been a brutal rivalry for months here in TNA Wrestling. Both want to get to the Knockouts World Championship, but they have to go through each other to get there in this dog collar match.
You have to imagine whoever walks out of this the victor, as rough, as intense, as violent as it is, you have to imagine they are punching a ticket to the top of the list for a Knockouts World title shot.
Now using the chain, pulling Indy Hartwell into the steel post and the turnbuckle in the process. And wait a minute.
This. Danny Luna wrapping the chain around the post, trying to squeeze the ribs, squeeze the air out of Indy Hartwell.
There are no countouts or disqualifications. This is completely legal. However, the match can only end via pinfall or submission in the ring. And now Luna repaying the favor after it was Hartwell whipping Luna with the chain earlier on in this match.
These matches are certainly not for the faint of heart. Both as a competitor and a viewer, Luna is relishing, though, this environment.
That chain wrapped around the fist of Danny Luna. Close quarters here. Both caught up with the chain, and a big boot there by Luna.
And Luna has that chain wrapped around the post now at least 2 times. Tying Indy Hartwell in a bow here.
As we mentioned, Danny Luna can't win the match this way, but she can do a lot of damage to Hartwell.
She can pretty much do everything but. And now trying to free up Hartwell to move around for some more destruction.
Oh, sending Hartwell's shoulder first into the steel post.
Look at that smirk on the face of Danny Luna, enjoying every second of this.
Oh, and again. Hartwell sustaining plenty of damage at the hands of Luna.
These two have been so back and forth, to your point you made earlier, traded pinfalls, but
oh my God, face first into the post goes Luna.
And that is a big opening for Indy Hartwell.
Think about the opportunity ahead for all of us here in TNA Wrestling. This is a massive moment in this dog collar match.
Look out, boom, head first goes Danny Luna, and down for the count just like that.
We've all heard the news. AMC is the new home of TNA Thursday Night Impact beginning January 15th. That night will be live in Dallas, Texas.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. Danny Luna busted open after having gone into the post. There'll be a new home, a new time, a new stage. It all starts January 15th. Live in Dallas, Texas. Catches every Thursday night from 9 to 11 p.m. Eastern. TNA Thursday Night Impact on AMC. A new era is coming, and both of these knockouts want to be a part of that. They want to be the face of the knockouts division.
And right now they are putting everything on the line in order to make that happen, in order to punch their ticket to the top of the division.
Danny Luna for months here in TNA has been the one dishing out the punishment to anyone that has stood in her path. So now Danny Luna's got to be thinking, what am I willing to do to win? What am I willing to do to maybe get one step closer to a Knockouts World title shot?
If you want to make your own fate in this business, you have to be the aggressor.
Oh, you can see how Luna got tangled up in the chain.
That's the risk in this matchup. Your neck, joints, anything can get caught up, hung up, ripped, torn. Everything is on the line here.
Remember, no countouts, no disqualifications. First one to gain pinfall or submission in the ring on the mat is your winner. And now look at this. Oh, the spine buster by Hartwell. How creative was that? Cover. Luna able to kick out.
So Hartwell used the chain to yank Danny Luna into that spine buster.
Take another look at this. Indy Hartwell thrived in the no disqualifications match between these two that Hartwell won back at Turning Point, and she's showing why in this dog collar match.
You gotta be careful about, oh, look at that.
Oh, big single leg drop kick there
Cover
by
here.
Luna to win this dog collar match and a kick out.
It's things like that, second guessing where you're stepping. That chain could be wrapped around an ankle, wrapped around your neck. These things you normally do on instinct in a standard wrestling match sometimes just do not fly. And what is Luna going for now? What the hell?
Oh, wait a minute, Luna going for powder. She used that at Turning Point in that no disqualifications match against Hartwell. Oh, and Hartwell sensed it coming, took the powder away. Now Luna trying to wrangle Indy Hartwell.
This one getting messy. Oh my God!
And Luna shoving Hartwell accidentally into our referee.
And the ref is down. We're gonna have a hard time getting a decision here, but the chaos.
Oh, the Luna landing. Luna could have won it right there.
Could it be?
Cover, count. Danny Luna beats Indy Hartwell in the dog collar match.
Here is your winner, Danny.
And a sick smile from behind that crimson mask shows the heart of Danny Luna on this wild new path.
Up next, it's our main event. Jake Something goes one-on-one with Jesse Funaki. Don't go anywhere. This match is next on Xplosion. Welcome back to TNA Xplosion. And now it's time for our main event.
Following contest is scheduled for one fall. Introducing first, from San Antonio, Texas, weighing in at 180 pounds, Jesse Funaki.
We are set for action here inside the El Paso County Coliseum in West Texas on Xplosion. This is Jesse Funaki, the son of the WWE legend Sho Funaki, that experience for nearly 2 years of professional wrestling, looking to cut his teeth here in TNA.
And what an opportunity he has here tonight, but he's got a large obstacle ahead of him.
And his opponent from Midland, Michigan, weighing in at 262 pounds, Jake Something.
The 262-pound powerhouse known as Jake Something has got to be in a foul mood as of late. Frankly, Gia, how often is he not in a foul mood?
You know, every time I try to get a word from Jake Something, I find him in the locker room or in the back, just pacing like a caged animal. He's got so much rage and frustration built up inside of him, and I have a bad feeling he's gonna try and take it out on Jesse Funaki here tonight.
Significant size and strength advantage for Jake Something. That was evident before the bell even rang.
And already showing how little he respects with some disrespect.
And here Jake Something testing Funaki to a test of strength here. Chance of Funaki from the fans here in El Paso.
I did get a chance to talk with Jesse earlier.
Cover, kick out. Cover, shoulders down, kick out again.
Oof.
Oh, and Jake Something absolutely launching Funaki.
I wanted to know how he was feeling ahead of this match. He said he knew he had a challenge ahead of him. But looks like he's feeling confident.
Funaki trying to use Something's momentum against him. Jake Something backing up Funaki into the corner, slowing up any momentum he might gain.
Oof.
Big swipe there. Funaki, just driven down shoulder first into the canvas by Jake Something.
I wasn't kidding when I said that there was a large obstacle ahead, and it's even worse when that obstacle's running full speed at you.
Jake Something takes Funaki out of the air. Gia, we've seen a number of second, third generation stars compete in professional wrestling. It's a tremendous mountain to climb. You have to make a name for yourself, even though maybe that last name helped get you an opportunity. And on top of that, Jesse Funaki is fighting an uphill battle in the size and strength department in this matchup.
Of course, and you have to think about the magnifying glass that's placed upon second and third generation talents like Jesse Funaki. People expect a lot out of him because of what his father has done, and he was trained by his father, but he knows what he has to do here tonight, and that's cut Jake something down a little at a time.
Easier said than done. A little flurry there from Funaki. Arrogant cover now by Jake something and a kick out. Tell you what, Jesse Funaki has his father's trademark grit, refusing to give up here in this match. Knee right to the spine here, and Jake something taking his time. We're inside the El Paso County Coliseum, the site of Final Resolution 2025. You can watch it back anytime on demand on TNA Plus. If you're not already watching this on TNA Plus, head to watch.tnawrestling.com and subscribe.
Jesse's in a dangerous position right now. How's he gonna make it out of this one?
See how Jake something has completely slowed down the pace. Any little window of opportunity that Funaki has been able to grab been shut down very quickly. Elbows right to the midsection now by Funaki. Forearm shiver. Fighting from underneath, literally having to strike up at Jake something.
Having to put everything he has into every single strike.
Oh, jawbreaker there as Jake something reached out for the throat.
He's got to take a second to recover, but don't let Jake.
Back elbow there. Kick right to the face by Funaki, trying to keep the big beast at bay. Funaki, oh, what a beautiful drop kick there in the corner.
Wow, did you see the height? It was like he was levitating.
That was one of the prettiest drop kicks I've ever seen. Beautiful.
Uh-oh.
Hold on. Jake something looked like he was trying to go for the power slam and another drop kick by Funaki.
And Jake something is down. Jesse Funaki has got to capitalize on this opportunity.
Gia, you're absolutely right. This is the best opportunity Jesse Funaki has had so far in this matchup. Could he pull off the upset against the larger opponent here on Xplosion? Oh, look at this. DDT! Cover! Oh, Jake something powers out at 2.
Wow, the TNA fans are behind Funaki, and I really think, I thought it, everyone else here thought it. He may have gotten Jake something, but not yet. It's gonna take a whole lot more to put down that beast of a man.
Funaki hails from San Antonio, has support right here in El Paso, Texas. Was charging there. Oh, and a big forearm shiver by Jake something. And now Jake thinking about a power bomb. Oh, look at the height.
Like I said, Jake something is looking to take out that frustration on Jesse Funaki. But it seems like he's enjoying it.
Certainly is. Into the void. Jake something puts down Jesse Funaki.
Here is your winner, Jake something.
I won't lie, I was very impressed by Jesse Funaki here tonight, but Jake something comes out on top as your winner.
What a pleasure it was to see Jesse Funaki in a TNA ring here on Xplosion, but your winner is Jake something. Thank you for joining us tonight on TNA Xplosion.